Welcome back, coin lovers and treasure hunters. You're watching Coins Hunter USA, the home for everyone who's passionate about discovering the hidden value in America's pocket change. Here, we dive deep into the history, rarity, and fascinating stories behind US coins that could be worth far more than their face value. In today's video, we're focusing on a true classic in American coinage, the Washington quarter. This might look like an ordinary coin at first glance, but stay tuned, because its history, unique errors, and collector demand might just surprise you. Top 1. I'm talking about the United States of America Washington quarter from the year 1983. Stay with me, because this isn't just another quarter, it's a coin with a story, a scarcity that's hard to believe, and in the right condition, it can be worth a truly jaw-dropping amount. The 1983 Washington quarter carries the same familiar design we all recognize, the profile of George Washington on the front, created by sculptor John Flanagan, and the majestic bald eagle on the reverse. But the real magic of this coin isn't in the artwork, it's in the history surrounding its production. In both 1982 and 1983, the U.S. Mint made a very unusual decision. It didn't release any official mint sets for collectors. Normally, these sets are the easiest way for collectors to get coins in perfect, uncirculated condition straight from the mint. But for these 2 years, if you wanted a brand new quarter, you had to get it the hard way, by pulling it straight from circulation. And here's the thing, coins that have been circulating for any amount of time pick up marks, scratches, and general wear extremely quickly. People used them for everyday purchases, dropped them in change jars, slid them into vending machines, all the little things that take away from a coin's pristine condition. This means that finding a 1983 quarter that still looks like it just left the mint is incredibly rare, and that rarity is one of the main reasons these coins have become so desirable to collectors. But there's more to the story. Some of these quarters carry fascinating mint errors, the kind of mistakes that make coin collectors' hearts race. One example is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is shifted, leaving part of the surface blank. Another is the double die error, where elements of the design appear doubled because of a die misalignment during production. Then there are die cracks, where flaws in the minting die leave raised lines or odd shapes on the coin's surface. Each error tells a unique story, and error coins are often far more valuable than their perfectly struck counterparts because they're one of a kind. And let's not forget about the hunt for top grades. The grading system, run by professional organizations like PCGS and NGC, ranks coins based on their condition. A 1983 Washington quarter graded in the top mint state levels, MS65, MS66, or higher, is almost unheard of. Combine a high grade with a rare minting error and you're talking about a coin that sits at the top tier of desirability for serious collectors. For anyone passionate about numismatics, the 1983 Washington quarter is a reminder that even a coin from the not-so-distant past can carry immense historical and monetary value. It's a piece of the 1980s in your hand, a time capsule from a period when no one imagined these coins would one day become treasures. The excitement lies in the fact that there are still some out there, possibly sitting unnoticed in old jars, drawers, or boxes, just waiting for the right collector to discover them. And now, the part that makes this story truly remarkable, the value. A 1983 Washington quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially with a striking mint error, can be worth as much as $83,000. Top 2. We're taking a close look at a coin from the mid-1980s that has captured the attention of serious collectors across the country, the United States of America Washington quarter from the year 1986. Now, if you have a quarter from 1986 lying around, you might be thinking, it's just a regular coin. But don't be too quick to judge. This seemingly ordinary piece of change could, under the right circumstances, be worth an incredible amount of money. What makes it special is not only the history surrounding it, but also the unique errors and rare conditions that have made some of these coins highly sought after by collectors. The Washington quarter has been an iconic part of U.S. coinage since 1932, with John Flanagan classic portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the powerful bald eagle on the reverse. By 1986, this design had been in use for over 5 decades, but that didn't make the coins of this year any less interesting. In fact, their story is richer than you might expect. Let's start with why finding a pristine 1986 quarter is harder than it sounds. Unlike certain special issues or commemorative coins, the 1986 quarters were mass-produced for circulation, meaning the vast majority went straight into everyday use. They were passed from hand to hand, fed into parking meters, dropped in vending machines, and rattled around in change jars. Over time, this everyday wear takes a serious toll on a coin's sharpness, luster, and overall condition. That's why quarters from 1986 in top mint state grades, MS65 or higher, are far less common than the total mintage numbers might suggest, but condition alone isn't the only factor that makes some 1986 quarters valuable. There's another layer to their appeal: mint errors. These fascinating mistakes occur during the minting process and can turn a regular coin into a numismatic treasure. Some 1986 Washington quarters are known to have off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably shifted, leaving a blank crescent along the edge. Others have been found with doubled dies, where parts of the lettering or design appear duplicated because of misalignment during die creation. There are also examples of clipped planchets, coins that were struck on a blank that was cut irregularly, leaving a curved edge. Each of these errors is unique, meaning no two error coins are exactly alike, and that uniqueness is pure gold in the eyes of collectors. Collectors are also drawn to this coin because of the thrill of the hunt. There's always the possibility that an overlooked 1986 quarter sitting in a family coin jar could be an untouched gem, a perfect specimen that somehow avoided the scratches, dings, and fading that daily circulation brings. High-grade examples, especially those certified by professional grading services, can command top prices at auction. Add in an unusual error, and the value can rise dramatically. What's fascinating is that most people don't even know to look for these coins. They're hidden in plain sight, blending in with newer quarters in pockets and cash registers, just waiting for someone with a keen eye and a love of numismatics to discover them. For coin lovers, finding one feels like striking modern-day treasure. And now, here's the part you've been waiting for. A United States of America Washington quarter from 1986, preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition and possibly enhanced by a rare minting error, can reach an astonishing value of $81,000. Top 3 were traveling back to the late 1980s to explore a fascinating piece of American coinage, the United States of America Washington quarter from the year 1988. At first glance, it might look like any other quarter you've spent or received in change, but trust me, this coin has secrets that make it a true prize for collectors. The Washington quarter, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, had already been a familiar sight in American pockets for over half a century by 1988. It still featured the timeless portrait of George Washington on the front and the proud bald eagle with outstretched wings on the back. While the design hadn't changed, the value of certain 1988 quarters lies not in what you see, but in their condition, their history, and in some cases, the rare and fascinating mistakes made at the U.S. Mint during their creation. Let's begin with scarcity. In 1988, millions of quarters rolled off the presses at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Most of them went directly into everyday circulation, buying groceries, paying tolls, slipping into vending machines, and in the process, they collected scratches, dents, and general wear. Because these coins weren't saved in large numbers in pristine form, finding one today that's still in top-grade, uncirculated condition is surprisingly difficult. Collectors hunt relentlessly for such coins, because even a small improvement in grade can mean a big jump in value. Now, here's where things get even more interesting: mint errors. During the minting process, even with modern technology, mistakes sometimes happen, and in the world of numismatics, those mistakes can turn a common coin into a rare and valuable piece. Some 1988 quarters are known to have off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably shifted and part of the coin's surface is left blank. Others have double die errors, which create a ghostly duplicate effect on letters, numbers, or design elements. There are also examples of struck-through errors, where foreign material like grease or debris left an impression on the coin during striking. Each error is unique, and that uniqueness makes them incredibly appealing to collectors. One reason the 1988 Washington quarter excites coin lovers is that it's part of a decade where high-grade circulation coins are much harder to find than people think. The late 1980s weren't a time when the average person thought about saving shiny new quarters. This means that even after decades, examples in superb condition are far scarcer than the total mintage might suggest. Combine that scarcity with the thrill of discovering an unusual error, and you've got a coin that's always in demand. For collectors, the hunt is half the joy. Imagine finding a flawless, mint-state 1988 quarter in a forgotten jar of change or among coins you've had for years. To most people, it would be just 25 cents, but to a collector, it could be a treasure worth thousands. These coins remind us that incredible finds don't always come from ancient history. Sometimes they're hiding in plain sight, disguised as ordinary change. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value. A United States of America Washington quarter from 1988, kept in pristine, uncirculated condition and enhanced by a rare minting error, can be worth as much as $79,000. Top 4. We're diving into the fascinating world of a modern classic, the United States of America Washington quarter from the year 1990. At first glance, it may look like any other quarter you've seen in your change, but this coin has secrets that make it a hidden treasure for those who know what to look for. The Washington quarter has been part of American life since 1932, when it was first introduced to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, its dignified profile of the first president on the obverse and the majestic bald eagle on the reverse have become symbols of strength, history, and national pride. By 1990, this design had been in use for nearly 6 decades, and while the basic look hadn't changed, some coins from that year would become prized possessions for serious collectors. One reason the 1990 Washington quarter stands out is the challenge of finding one in exceptional condition. While millions of quarters were struck that year at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, almost all of them went straight into daily circulation. They were spent in shops, slid into parking meters, carried in pockets and purses, and stored in cash drawers. All this constant handling meant that coins quickly lost their original mint luster and picked up nicks, scratches, and signs of wear. That's why today, coins from 1990 that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition are extremely hard to find, but condition isn't the only factor that can make a 1990 quarter valuable. Mint errors, the accidental mistakes that occur during the production process, can transform an ordinary coin into a rare collectible. Some 1990 quarters have been discovered with off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably shifted, leaving part of the blank surface exposed. Others show double die errors, where parts of the lettering or design appear duplicated, creating a striking visual effect. There are even examples of struck-through errors, where debris or grease left marks or impressions on the coin during minting. These errors are unique, which means no two are exactly alike, adding to their desirability. Another interesting factor for 1990 quarters is the role of coin grading. Coins certified by professional services like PCGS or NGC and graded in high mint state levels, especially MS66 or higher, are extremely scarce. Every small step up in grade can dramatically increase a coin's value, because top-grade examples attract fierce competition among collectors. And if such a coin also has a rare minting error, its worth can skyrocket. For collectors, part of the thrill is that these treasures could still be hiding in plain sight. Somewhere in a forgotten change jar, an old drawer, or even in the pocket change from a store, there could be a flawless 1990 Washington quarter just waiting to be discovered. The idea that such a small, everyday coin could hold such tremendous value is what keeps the hunt exciting. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. A United States of America Washington quarter from 1990, preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition and possibly featuring a rare minting error, can be worth as much as $75,000. Top 5. We're focusing on a coin from the early 1990s that you might have seen 1,000 times without realizing its hidden potential, the United States of America Washington quarter from the year 1991. On the surface, the 1991 Washington quarter looks just like any other quarter from the modern era. It carries the classic design created by John Flanagan, with the noble profile of George Washington on the obverse and the proud bald eagle on the reverse. This design had been a staple of American coinage since 1932, and while it's instantly recognizable, the real magic of the 1991 quarter lies beneath the surface, in its rarity, condition, and sometimes, in fascinating minting errors that turn it into a collector's dream. Let's begin with why finding a truly exceptional 1991 quarter is such a challenge. While both the Philadelphia and Denver mints produced millions of these coins, nearly every single one was released directly into circulation. They were used for everyday purchases, jingled in pockets, sat in cash registers, and were dropped into vending machines and parking meters. Over time, all of this were stripped away the sharp details, dulled the shine, and left most coins with nicks and scratches. As a result, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition, the kind that still looks like it just left the mint, is extremely rare. Now, here's where things get even more exciting for collectors: mint errors. Even in a modern minting process, mistakes happen, and when they do, they create coins that are unique. Some 1991 quarters were struck off-center, with the design shifted so far that part of the blank metal remains visible. Others have double die errors, which give the lettering or numbers a doubled appearance. Then there are struck-through errors, where foreign material like grease or fibers left an impression on the coin during striking. Each of these errors makes the coin stand out, and because no two errors are exactly the same, they can add substantial value. High-grade examples are another major factor in the coin's worth. Coins that have been graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC in top mint state conditions, MS66, MS67, or higher, are incredibly scarce for this year. Every single point higher on the grading scale can significantly increase a coin's market value, and when you combine a top-grade coin with a rare minting error, the result is a piece that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. The thrill for collectors comes from the idea that these treasures could still be hiding in plain sight. Somewhere in an old change jar, a forgotten drawer, or even among coins you receive in everyday transactions, there could be a flawless 1991 quarter just waiting to be found. It's this sense of mystery and the possibility of an extraordinary discovery that keeps coin lovers searching. And now for the part you've been waiting for. A United States of America Washington quarter from 1991, kept in pristine, uncirculated condition and possibly featuring a rare minting error, can be worth as much as $72,000.